Hi, I'm Jackie Sharp-Ravella with Gateway Church, and here we have a wonderful person here I would love for you to meet at our church who's been here for about 10 years. Hi, Tracy.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, let's get started.
All right.
First of all, I want to talk to you about your hat. When you come to church, you have the best looking hats I've ever seen. So tell me why you love your hat so much.
I just always loved hats, even as a kid. Just had a baseball cap on. I have what I call my hippie hat. And I have this one that everyone thinks I look like Stevie Nicks, too.
Ah, okay, Stevie Nicks.
Stevie
That's
Nicks,
a popular
yes.
one. Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's just my personality. I also teach at Kennewick High School, and when I'm in a crowd, people can pick me out.
Oh, that's
and
good.
so it's kind of my signature. And then when I don't wear it, people are like,
What's wrong?
Where's Miss Tink? Because that's my name in high school, is Miss Tink.
Miss Tink.
Miss Tink.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right on. So let's start with Tracy. Where are you from, and what brought you to the Tri-Cities?
Well,
and Gateway.
Sorry to say, or maybe not, I'm from the west side, Puyallup, Washington here. When I was a kid, I lived in the Midwest, and then I moved back to Washington, and then raised my kids in Portland, Oregon. Go P-Town. And then I moved, when they all grew up, I moved to Kansas, of all places.
Oh my gosh.
I know, tornadoes. Uh-huh. And then I decided I was going to move back here, and it was either Portland or Kennewick, and my parents, Mike and Christy Cobb, shout out to you guys in Arizona, that I decided to move here. Mm-hmm. And then they were going to Gateway, and that's how I became.
I see. All right. So, you said you work in the school district.
I do.
In Kennewick School District.
I do.
Okay, very good.
Go Braves, Mike. You got a shout out.
So tell me about kind of where things started with you in terms of your walk with Jesus. Was this through your parents? Did this come later? How did this begin for you?
I was 8. We were living in Indiana, and we lived in we had this like little church, and we lived in a little town called Lake Psychic, and they used to sing the old hymn, Just As I Am, and every time. And when I was 8, I decided just to walk down. I didn't tell my parents. I accepted Jesus right then. And then I went to a lake and got baptized. That's how they did that. So I'm 50-something now. So I'm 58. And then, so for 50 years, I've been a Christian. Yeah.
So at 8 years old, a song.
It was just, we knew that if you wanted to accept Jesus, and that's when you did it, you came down and you did, and I accept Jesus. He asked me a bunch of questions and I answered them. And
at 8 years old?
At 8 years old.
And so from there, did you go to Bible studies and?
From there, when we moved back to Washington, I went to another church called Bethany Open Bible, and I went through, I had a great youth group leaders. I was in a singing group there that we sang all the way from Washington, Oregon, California, Mexico. So I was a Sunday school teacher there also.
And a Sunday school teacher.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about something. So throughout your journey with your time with knowing Jesus, were there ever any times where you felt, you had questions of doubts or why this, or challenges that you had, and where you were having some struggles and Jesus was a part of your life that really helped you through it? Or you felt his presence there?
Yes. In the late 90s, I decided I needed to get a divorce. Mm-hmm. And even then, it was very taboo. And that church turned their back on me. Mm-hmm. And I stopped going for a long time, almost 25 years.
You stopped going to church?
Stopped going to church. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't stop believing. I always believed in Jesus. I always knew, I always knew he got me through so many things, raising the kids, doing things on my own. I always either thought I might be crazy because I talk to him and he talks to me back. So if he's not there, then, but I know he is, because he's really blessed me throughout my whole entire life. Now, there's been ups and downs constantly, but I've always just really held on to my faith and decided that, it's not going to be all rainbows and butterflies. It's going to be sometimes some dark times, but I always believe that you just have to pray and it will answer. And he does have a will for us, and sometimes we like to push our own will into it, and then when I do that, it seems like I do have a hard time.
Okay, so having more continuing with your faith and praying, and you have stood steadfast through all this time. So what got you to go back to church?
When I moved back here to Kennewick, I moved in with my mom and dad, and I knew that they went to church, and I knew they'd ask me to go, and so I decided, why not? And it was scary coming back. I'd gone a couple times in Kansas, but I just was afraid that people would be so judgmental, and that was hard. And here at Gateway, we're not.
No, we're not. And
No.
that's what's really great about this church, is that you come basically as you are with your drama and everything, and it's small, and we're all family.
Yeah.
And because, it's hard enough to get through. When you're born into this world, my father says, when you're born into this world, you have a blank slate. And then it begins. And so, unfortunately, it's not all going to be wonderful and yippee-ki-yay for the rest of your life. That's where, different things start happening in your life. And so I'm really happy to hear that, though I'm very sorry that, and thank you for sharing it with us, that you had to go, you went through that, that you leaned on Jesus and that he helped you through this, and doors opened. And
Yeah.
can you give some example, other than the church, some other doors that have come open as a part of your faith? And
Just my friends, my husband. I met my husband here. I don't have a good track record on husbands. My dad always said I have a broken picker. So with that said, I came here. I was single for about 10 years, and I just decided to leave it up to Jesus. Like, if you have someone for me, I tried the dating apps; those didn't work. I just decided if it's going to be whatever God wants. I wanted a godly man. I wanted someone that I could be friends with, have a relationship with Jesus, with him, and I do. And that's the doors. And my best friend, Denise. So, everybody needs a bestie.
of course.
So it's, and then I also, I'm a youth leader now with my husband, so we
Yes.
youth lead.
I was going to ask you about things that you're doing with the church. So youth leader, and I also see you periodically in with some of the kiddos.
Yes, I
during
call them
service.
littles, but for the elementary kids, I do that also. And then I help clean. But,
Yes.
what I love about Gateway,
That was what I was going to ask you next.
what I love about Gateway is it's like our family, but we picked them. It's like when you're born into a family, you don't get to pick your parents or your siblings or whatever, and you might have a great relationship or you might not. But here, it's like people come and go, and the people that do stay are really true friends. They really help us out. You can go to anyone and say, "Hey, I need help," and they're going to be right there helping you.
Right.
And that's what I feel. It's that community.
That's good. And I'm sorry you had to experience, but unfortunately I've heard this many times about people having to go away from the church and then not going back for a while.
Well,
this is very common because of judgment, and that's not the true way of Jesus.
No, and I think it's also the time period. I think we've grown and accepted things happen in people's lives, and it's okay, and we're a lot more open to people. It's okay that you got divorced. You might not have been equally yoked. It might things you don't know,
No.
and it's okay. And you just go along the side of them and you help people.
Right, absolutely. So tell us a fun fact about yourself that we might not know, because you've been going to church here for a while, and we all get to know each other here, but maybe there's a fun fact about you that you want to share?
Don't know.
Is there a fun
I like yard work. I don't know, bowling. That's
you
a fun
love
fact.
Dogs.
I do love dogs. I have 2 dogs.
2 dogs.
And a cat.
Yeah, and a cat. All
Yeah.
right. And so you like to bowl, you like animals, and what else do you like to do? Gardening. Now, do you grow your own garden in the spring? with
I
all
don't
veggies?
because my soil is not very well, but I like to put a grub above ground.
Yeah.
You get
All
all.
right, right on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for this time and telling us about your story and how you came to Gateway, and then Jesus being a part of your life, and through life's ups and downs, and the faith is very important, and that it's hard, because sometimes the faith it's like a hurry up kind of thing. Can you fix this? And you want to see evidence of it right away, but it's through time. It was what you experienced, and you saw it happen, and look what happened. You found a wonderful guy
I
at
did.
church. You found a church you love.
Yes.
You led here via your parents,
Yeah.
and so that
And
was
that
good.
way, well, because when I'm at school, we don't talk about religion, but people know that I go to church, that I'm a youth leader. And it's nice to be able to put that light out, to be able to say, I go to Gateway. No, where'd you go? Oh, it's right by
Yeah.
Hapo, So people know, and it's nice, where I'm not ashamed or, saying, I'm a Christian,
Yeah.
So.
That's great. That's awesome. All right, Tracy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, thank you again for listening in to an interview at Gateway with Miss Tracy. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Bye.